The following program is rated MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
The show that gives you everything and nothing at all. That's everywhere you don't want to be. It's Ruben, Mo B, and on the ones and twos, AG.
The 5-minute warning.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of 5-Minute Warning. Once again, this is your man, Ruby, here in the house. And, of course, with me always is my human friend, AG.
What's happening, y'all? How you doing?
Yeah,
You have to excuse me because I'm vibing to my own tunes. That's kind of cool. I was like, this is kind of hot. What?
I mean,
What?
you talking about the same joint you lace it with every week?
Yeah, man. I just, I enjoy hearing it. This is really kind of cool. I put it together. I didn't write it, but I put it together. It's pretty good.
I mean, you could change it up too. I'm waiting for you to hit me with something different.
Okay.
I mean, you got freedom.
Okay. I got some freedom.
So, yeah,
I will take some time to see what I can come up with. Actually, I got an idea for another segment too, but I'll surprise everybody with it at the same time.
All right, well, that's good. I mean, I hope you don't surprise me with it. Shit. I mean, I like to
I'm
know.
gonna surprise you with it too. I'm gonna just put it on the end of the podcast and see what you think.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How many times can Ruben fuck up the day? All right, yeah, let's do it. Now,
No, that's not the segment.
I mean, it'd be interesting though, because
I would never drag you through the mud like that, sir, without your permission.
Oh, exactly. Without my, well, you're doing on the show every damn week. What are you talking about?
No, actually, most of the time that is Mo B.
That's very. I mean,
and we do it with love, sir.
I mean, you be co-signing
because he's right. I'm just saying.
You just don't want him to drag you through the mud.
If I did something to be mud draggable, he would drag me through the mud too.
Man, y'all be finding shit to drag me through the mud, bro.
That is not true. You help us out quite a bit, sir.
I didn't say I didn't help you.
As long as we're being honest.
We're being honest. We're being very honest.
He's like, I didn't say it didn't help.
Hey. I mean, look, like what we said last week. I earned every beating. Yeah. Oh, I earned everything.
Yeah, true enough. Hey man, I just appreciate you being 100 with yourself.
I mean, but that's what makes me me, I guess.
True enough. True enough.
If you're gonna, hey, look, man, if I'm gonna punish myself, I might as well do it in front of everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Usually people don't think that way. Usually they try to reserve that for privacy, but okay.
I mean, I guess.
There is not one human being walking that enjoys failing publicly. No one wants to do that.
Well, you're right. It just so happens I keep failing publicly and I keep getting called out for it. So, I mean.
Well, actually, most of the time, I don't actually call you out. I'm shaking my head inside, but I let it go. Mo B doesn't seem to have enough. He can't help himself, man. It's just like, he going to call you out. He that dude.
But, man, here's the thing.
Okay.
And I will say this. I'm very appreciative to have friends and family like that. Because, look, man, if people in your circle can't call you out on your shit, then, I mean, what are we doing?
I mean, that is true. And that's a very healthy way to see life.
It'd be like, nah, bro, you should probably wear the fire retardant stuff. Nah, man, these shorts are cool. How about you wear some shit to protect yourself? Like, at least give me a shot to be reasonable. And I can only expect nothing but that. Now, if I say, nah, bro, I'm good, and then I jump into the fire anyway, that's my dumbass fault.
I mean, true enough.
I mean,
ultimately, I just want you to know we do it with love, sir.
Oh, I know. I mean, I know you do it with love.
So does Mo B.
I mean, Mo B, I'm not saying he doesn't.
He does. But see, the thing is with Mo, you have, and I have come to realize this. If you're looking for touchy-feely,
No, that ain't him.
he's not your guy.
No, not at all. Not close.
With Mo, it's like, and see, I wish he was here, so I don't like talking about him. He ain't here. However, since he ain't here, I'm gonna talk about it. With Mo, you find love in presence. Like, he will never tell you he loves doing this show. Never.
No,
He will never tell you he enjoys either one of us. Not ever.
maybe.
No.
He might tell you that.
No, he will not. He has never told me that. Not that it's a requirement. I'm just letting you know over time I have noticed certain things. However, this is what he does. He shows up.
Yep.
When he is able, he is here. I mean, we have like, this is our 230
Second.
show. And we only do it once a week. Do you know how long it takes? And he is here. Ever since he decided he wanted to be on, and it's just like he's on. And I'm like, he is that dude.
And you're the same way.
No, that's not true. I have had a couple of soliloquies on this show about the both of you. And I have shared publicly how I feel about the both of you and this show. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
So-
but I guess what I'm saying, but when you're here, you're here. Like you show up.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying with him, you can't look for him to like say to your face, hey man, you're part of my circle.
Oh no,
You're my guy. So I was like, because I knew when I was acceptable to him was when I'm sorry I couldn't go because I think Lauren was sick that day. When he had a cookout, his mom's house, like right around the corner from us.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey man, I'd love for you to come through. I knew then.
Yeah.
That's as far as he's gonna go.
You got invited to the cookout.
Yeah, absolutely. That was huge. So I'm like, that's who he is. So, I'm just saying he ain't gonna, he ain't that touchy-feely dude. But you have to know what to look for, or you're gonna get your feelings hurt.
I mean, yeah. But and that's the thing. Like, we all have friends. We have close friends. We have semi-close friends. We got people we know. We got people we wish we didn't know. And we got all those other motherfuckers.
True.
So, like, and everybody falls into a category.
Sure.
And that's what it is. It's like, it's interesting because on this show, as men and as black men, I feel like we have really, really just helped aid yet destroy a lot of black men. What are those things called? Thoughts.
Stereotypes?
Stereotypes, yeah, stereotypes. Because, like, we've had conversations about black men not want to go to the damn doctor. Yo, hey, black men, take your ass to the doctor.
True.
Get your ass checked, turkey. I mean, that's what we got to do. We want to be here for a hot minute. Don't wait till they ready to take your damn foot off before you go to the doctor.
Truth.
Let's just be real. I mean, we've had conversations about black men liking Trump and how stupid they are. I mean, it happens. Everybody fall off the wagon every now and then, but we still love those people.
Because Black Lives Matters.
I mean,
Black Lives Matter. That was hilarious when Moby sent me that. That happened a town over, sir. That was local. That was homegrown. Black and if you're not hearing me, audience out there, whoever's listening, if you're not hearing me, I said Black Lives MAGA.
Oh yeah,
that was the shirt this dude was wearing when he was answering questions poorly. So I just want you to know. Just
hold up. When that white dude was wearing that shirt, and then
that was a black dude who was wearing that shirt.
Oh, okay, but the white dude was wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt too.
No, because he interviewed the guy he interviewed. Both of them were black.
Well, so he sent you he sent me another one too. It was a white dude wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt, and I was just like,
okay, well maybe it was a white dude. I thought he was just light skinned.
Because he said his mom was Jewish, and I was like, "And you like this dude?" like I was, like,
it is what it is. Man.
hey, yeah, Brent lost foot. I mean, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, and like black men don't share feelings. Like we share feelings on this show. Maybe not what you want to hear. I mean, we ain't up and start crying up in this bitch.
We share something.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't crying or nothing. Oh my God. Nah, we ain't doing none of that shit. But like, we at least try to be as real as we possibly can be, and I think that's fair.
That's fair.
You know, I mean, such as, hey man, the BET Awards is like next week or some shit. That's all I got to say on that, bro. Man, I hate BET so much.
Why do you hate BET, man?
Because, man,
at one time that was the source for all black music because MTV was like, we don't need y'all.
Except for your MTV Raps, 2 hours on Saturday. That's the only time they need black music.
That's throwing us a bone so they can just say, you know.
I'm just calling it like I see it because some people, well, MTV had black music on. You're right. For 2 hours on Saturday at 10 p.m., your ass didn't watch it. Is what it is.
It was MTV's one black friend.
Yeah. Your MTV Raps with some dude named Fab Five Freddy. Never know where the motherfucker came from, but hey, he was Fab Five Freddy. Now I do know he used to write for The Source and shit like that. So I guess
actually, the first time I ever saw Fab Five Freddy, I didn't know who he was. He was in 1980.
Yeah,
but he was in like Blondie's Rapture video.
Yeah,
he was the dude that was like, it's so crazy at the time. It probably wasn't viewed that way, but he was the dude. And I'm not saying that he is a coon. I'm not saying he was in that thing cooning.
You try to get a check, bro. Let's try to get a check.
I understand. That's why I said I don't think that he is out there tap dancing, but he kind of was tap dancing.
I mean, look, man.
The way they set him up was awful.
1980, bro. He ain't had choices.
I know he didn't have choices, but he was in the video.
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, man, Fab Five Freddy was the man who knew everything about black hip hop.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
And then you had Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. You know, oh
my God, I love it.
I mean, he was cooning.
He what?
Mo B would say Ed Lover was cooning.
Really?
That stupid ass dance? Hell yeah, he was.
I love that dance, man. But now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. Womp womp.
Because white people start watching it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He definitely made rap music palatable. I have to agree.
Because it came on like 4 to 5 on the weekdays, and right before Rap City came on BET. So it led in on MTV, and everybody go to Big Tig in the basement.
Understood.
Which, not gonna lie, I respect Big Tig. I mean, speaking of the man we was talking about, he appears.
Oh, B, what's happening, baby?
What's going on? Why were y'all talking about me?
Oh man,
because we were talking about. What were we talking about? Oh, we started talking about Ruben being 100, and I was like, Ruben, it's not that you're fake. It's that you don't really say a lot. There's a difference, and then that led into talking about you because I was like, if you want touchy feely from Mo B, you about to get your feelings hurt. That's not how that guy operates, and so that's what led into some other things.
Man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I am Mr. Sensitivity, man.
You are not, sir.
Hey, Ralph Tresvant, calm down over there.
And because I was saying, if you want to know how Mo feels about you, presence is probably the biggest clue. If he's always showing up for you for whatever reason that might be, that's the proof, and that's proof positive for you.
I do have a question before you continue on what we were talking about. Are you trying to keep the vampires out, bro? It is bright as hell over there.
Like, what are you talking about, man?
In your building.
What's wrong, man?
It's brighter, but I mean,
you don't like my lighting?
I mean, it's just super bright, man. I ain't never seen like I can see you crisply.
I think he's secretly trying to call you out because there's some other thing we were talking about. You always
is this better? Is this better?
Now you're washed out. You had it better the first time.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes us dark skinned people, man, we got to make sure the light's right. We got to make sure the light's right, man.
See, man, Ron would kick your ass right now.
What
at least he try.
Why?
Because, man, he'd be like, bro, you ain't dark skinned.
Because I'm out here doing it for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm out
here doing it for us. Okay.
So, all right. So let me ask you a question, Moby. We were talking about Rap City and how MTV never played black music, and I was like, well, they play black music for 2 hours on Saturdays with Rap City, with Fat Five Freddy and shit. And then I was like, then you had Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. And then I was like, talking about the Ed Lover dance. And I was like, if we were talking about this with Mo B would say Ed Lover's cooning.
I'm gonna actually disagree. I'm not gonna say he would, because honestly, what he was just doing was doing whatever it took to allow us to have a platform still. Because as you stated, we had what, an hour, 2 hours top.
2 hours Saturday, and then we went
to
Power Week on MTV right before, like from 4 to 5, and then Big Tig in the Tunnel came on BET. Because we were just talking about how BET has a BET Awards, I think it's next week. And I just sighed and rolled my eyes and was like,
I'm gonna say something, and this is, I have realized that we have uniformly not only been like eliminated from BET, we've been completely pushed away from BET.
Who's we?
The three types of people that are on this panel.
Are you serious right now? Because I don't watch BET.
Oh, I 100% agree.
So
they have all those black shows and this and that, and I just assume
they no longer have black shows.
Are you serious?
They have shows for black women. That's
it. Yeah,
the whole platform.
Well, Tyler Perry owns that shit.
Yeah. So when we're looking, I'm looking at the performers. It was like they went what? So Glorilla, Sexy Red, Lotto.
Well,
and a Lifetime Achievement Award for Usher. And I'm just like, so you just made a whole goddamn show for the black women.
No. Don't forget about what's his name? Boskeezy. What the fuck? What's that crazy ass name? Boise for Skeezy. Some shit. And I was like, they actually spelled that shit out on TV. Like I was like, all right. That's
so I just feel like BET has officially, I mean, and we saw this coming when that woman that hates black people took over the network.
When she got rid of Uncut, man, this shit was done.
You slowly started seeing it, but basically they're reinforcing, and maybe this is a stretch for me, but I feel like they're reinforcing like the alienation of black masculinity. Like they're basically just getting rid of it altogether.
I mean, are you wrong? I mean, based on the description and what I really saw in all those trailers was exactly what you said. So you're probably not wrong.
Yeah, man. I tried to watch Sisters, man, because I was bored at home, won't shit else on TV. And I saw that, and it was like during the middle of the goddamn day, and I was like, okay. I literally watched like an episode and a half, and I was just like, it's not even good plot lines.
It's not. It doesn't have to be when it's a soap opera.
And bro, I'm gonna tell you, man. Like you speaking on this is just you being a hater, and the reason I'm gonna say it's just you being a hater is because you also got to understand this shit wasn't written for us. So like as much as I would love to insult a lot of things, I don't insult shit that ain't meant for me. You know what I'm saying? So like I know the shit ain't meant for me. Hence, why am I going to then look at it to critique it when it ain't meant for me?
Well,
I'm not the target audience. And if I'm not the target audience, it's really hard for me to grade it.
And that's very true.
That's the part that I disagree with, because all the time I was watching the Haves and Have-Nots, which I truly believe is a soap opera, which
it is.
Soap operas
different, completely different show.
It was the worst performances I've ever seen from people that I know can act. And I'm like,
okay. See, performance is different. Ruben was talking about the plot line and all that. That ain't for us. Now, if you want to critique, if you want to critique performance, or if you're like, hey, it's poorly directed, or hey, I can see the microphone in the background, like you know what I'm saying. Like if you want to talk about, if you want to talk about
4 feet away.
Yeah, if you want to talk about like production quality, you could absolutely grade that. Okay, but if you're just gonna grade like what the show is intended for, and you're not the target audience.
Yeah, no.
The one BET show that I actually thought was remotely watchable was a joint with the Black Ghostbuster in it about the family. And
was that good?
Man, you talking about any BET show? I have no idea. I haven't intentionally turned to BET in probably 5 to 6 years.
I mean,
I will say I did hear good things about that position.
yeah, that show really wasn't. It was watchable. I mean, they had a couple people you knew in it, so it was okay.
I can't
I mean,
believe
but-
everything up there is bad. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like everything on BET is trash.
No.
Because my thing is, I just don't watch it. Like, I've made a hard line thing to be like, hey, there's nothing up here that I want to support, but I don't want to tear it down either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to do that. But when Tyler Perry basically owns 90% of the programming, they've already established to me that I'm not the target audience.
Truth, because
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
And I have,
absolutely about right.
and I've told you multiple times, I have nothing negative to say about Tyler Perry. I think Tyler Perry is amazingly talented,
Yeah.
and I think his greatest talent is nobody reads a fucking room better than Tyler Perry.
Nobody.
I'm just saying, like,
He
basically,
knows how to get paid.
he's like, I know what my audience is, I know what my audience wants, and I always fucking deliver. Always.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, man, it's just like, it just kills me, man, because I see Taraji P. Henson host that, and I'm just like, damn it, man. Like,
Once again, why not?
I mean, yeah, but it's,
Because Black empowerment is also Black women empowerment. So why not put her up there? And once again, this is not a shade. Like, I just realized when I was watching it, I saw a commercial maybe 20 minutes before I came up here, and I was just like, whoa, this whole BET Awards thing is not for me. I'm not the target audience of this award show.
An award show is not for you.
all.
I mean, and I remember
Not
the dude's
based
name.
on performances. It's like,
Yeah,
not at all.
Shabuzi. It's Shabuzi. Who the fuck calls himself Shabuzi? Like,
Man, I mean, maybe that's what they want to call it.
I'm sorry, I yelled a little bit.
You're upset, bro.
Now don't get me wrong. I'm not going to tune into I don't really watch award shows. I do watch. Eventually, I end up seeing almost all the award show because people talk about performances, and I'll individually see performances. Do I want to see Usher perform? Yeah, motherfucker's a good performer. You know what I'm saying? He's a great ass performer. He's a great ass performer. Do I want to see anybody else up there really perform? Not really. I could do it out. And it's not critical. I think I like Glorilla. You know what I'm saying? The more I listen to her music, I'm like, I think I actually like Glorilla. I think Lotto is really talented. I just personally can't get over the fact that I saw her rapping on a show when she was like 12, when she was still like a little girl. So to see her like be over sexualize herself, I have the problem because I'm just like, you're still that little girl to me, and you're super sexualized now. So that's a personal problem. That ain't got nothing to do with her. She is allowed to grow up and give adult content, and she's actually pretty talented. Still not gonna buy any of her albums, but like, you know, I'm not the target audience. So you can be talented and not for me.
So
I've also never purchased the Beyonce album because I'm not her target audience. She's a fucking amazing performer. I actually like some of her songs. I'm not the target audience. As long as I'm married to my wife, I'm gonna hear that shit anyway. So I'm good. I'm good. Or as long as I have this thing called the internet, they're gonna force you to hear everything.
So, all right, man. What the fuck is Shabuzi?
Bro, get off of it, man. Get over it, bro. Like, just move on.
I just want to know what he is. Like,
it doesn't matter, Ruben. You know what matters? Pete Rock and Common made an album together, and the shit's fire. Yeah, I've been listening to. I've listened to a couple tracks today. There, a couple videos. Common and Pete Rock, fire.
Well, all right, that's some shit.
See, you just got to realize what your thing is and focus on that. I'm not, man. It's 2024, man. I'm not bashing anything that ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. I think we spend too much time as a culture bashing shit just because it ain't for you. And I'm not going to do that. Like, Sexy Red ain't for me. Just ain't for me. I'm not the target audience. The fact that there is a target audience for Sexy Red bothers me. That's another issue. It's a separate issue that ain't got shit to do with Sexy Red.
The fact that she does have an audience bothers me.
Bro.
No, the fact that she appeals to a target audience bothers me.
Right. It's,
I mean, I can't disagree with that, man. It's so hard not to disagree with that. I mean, yeah, I can't disagree with that.
But
You're
but I'm not
completely right.
gonna be. I refuse to be the old dude saying stay off my lawn, because I wouldn't have watered. Our generation shouldn't have worked so hard to water the grass to grow this lawn that we didn't want the next generation to have the benefit of walking over. I mean, honestly, that's just what it is. Like, so
Yeah.
all the people who are like, oh, real hip hop is dead. No, motherfucker, real hip hop just progressed, and you didn't want it to progress. You wanted to stay in the same box that it was when you were 16 to 25, and that's not how shit works.
not wrong.
I mean, I'm pretty sure in every musical genre, they all say the same thing. I'm pretty sure rock people are like, oh man, we don't have any good rock now. We don't have any good metal now. We don't have
All
any
the
good
time.
alternative. So it's like, yo, it's just
All the
not the
time.
way it works, man. Like shit progresses with or without you, and usually without you. Usually it's without you.
Hey, fair enough.
Truth.
Goddamn Shabuzi. All right.
Here we go.
You just can't let shit go, man.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
off my lawn. That's Ruben.
About certain things, I think that's what I am. But
I
other things, not.
watered this grass so you could look at it, not enjoy it.
I don't want you putting
Well, in his
concrete over my
defense, it's
shit.
his grass. It is his grass. So just saying.
I mean, look, man, I just, it is what it is, man. But no, I'm just saying, like, BET is just, yeah. I don't even know how we were talking about this BET, and it's like, it's the worst shit ever.
It's not the worst shit ever. It just ain't for you no more, man.
True.
I mean,
Once upon a time, when there was Rap City and there was Uncut, and hell, even 106 in Park, it was at least for everybody. We felt like we were that it was trying to appeal to.
yeah.
Man, we are all old motherfuckers. They are not appealing to our old ass. They're like, dog, don't you need to be watching like some news network or something? Or like, we were aged out, man, and we got to be okay with being aged out.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
I
I still get excited about, like old hip hop. I listen to the new stuff, and it doesn't excite me. It's not anything to be mad at. Just doesn't excite me.
And what's exciting to me is there's a lot of old hip hop people who are making new stuff now. Like Nas is making stuff with Hit Boy all the time, and I'm like, yo, it's dope. LL Cool J's got a new song out right now with
This is really.
with Fat Joe and
It's
who else
okay.
is in that song? Yeah, I mean, look, to me, it's not about even being good. It's like, hey,
You still putting out music.
yeah, because remember, a long time ago, I was like, yo, hip hop does not allow its older performers to age and still be a part of the game. And now I'm looking around and I'm like, there's a whole bunch of older people making shit now.
And, and that's why I appreciate LL Cool J and what he has done with Sirius XM and Rock the Bells. Like, of any channel on Sirius XM, like, if you are old school head, that's it, man. But they do play like new shit. When old heads come out with new shit, they'll play it. Some of it's good, and they play it, and they play the rest. So yeah, I mean, I Sirius XM ain't paying me. Lord knows I pay those motherfuckers every month. But I will sit here and say that, yeah, man, I appreciate LL Cool J for at least making an extremely strong attempt to at least have a platform for the old heads to at least go to. So shout out to that. But speaking of old heads, I mean, I don't know how long we're gonna talk about this, but I guess we gotta talk about what the fuck that shit was on Thursday. I mean, AG, man, what Jesus Christ. Like, I fell asleep, bro. I fell asleep.
Okay.
Like
Well,
an old head.
I watched the whole thing. I made sure. I did.
And in your defense, Ruben, I'm pretty sure Biden fell asleep a few times too.
Stop it.
Oh man. Well, I taped it because I'd get up next day, go to work, so I didn't watch it.
I bet they're talking about that shit at work for real.
I'm sure they were, because I know who I work with, and I'm sure they were. They weren't really loud about it because there wasn't any reason for them to be loud about it because of what happened.
Mhm.
But I think when I sat down on my breaks to watch it, and I listened to the audio on the way back home, what I saw was not what people were saying necessarily. I understand where it's coming from because I don't think, President Biden was necessarily feeling that well that day, and it showed. I think that he gets rattled like everybody else does when you are anywhere near Donald Trump, because you are trying to defend yourself against somebody that's lying. And so you get upset automatically. That stutter, especially a couple of times where he wasn't allowed to finish his thought because he made a blunder trying to get it back, but then his time was up. Because there are a couple of other times, maybe 3 or 4 other times, where he made a blunder or couldn't get through a thought, but he had enough time to recover and let you know what that was. I saw one candidate sound dominant, physically sound dominant, and lie for an hour and a half. Even the one time where I did think he was telling the truth, when he said Joe Biden called black people super predators, my wife corrected me and said, no, that wasn't Joe Biden. That was Hillary Clinton. So I can't even give him I can't even say a broken clock is right twice a day. He lied the whole hour and a half. So I'm like, okay. My takeaway from all this, well, actually, I can't say that yet. The biggest disappointment for me was not either candidate. The biggest disappointment for me was the fact that CNN and the after analysis, after the debate was over, how all they could talk about was Joe Biden's inability to sound dominant and to sound virile and to sound like we could trust this dude to stay alive for at least the term he's trying to finish. That's all they could talk about. They rarely talked about the idea that the other candidate, somebody who was a former president, spent 90 minutes lying about everything. Now, again, he didn't talk over nobody. I think that the way CNN handled it was amazing. I've never seen a debate happen and it was that clean. I appreciate that part. But unadulterated, I got a chance to see a grown man just keep lying. And that's how he got himself in trouble about the black jobs. I have to give him a little bit of a pass on that because I had context because I watched the whole thing. The reason why he said what he said was he was trying to talk over him, trying to lie about something. So I'm like, okay. But that's my takeaway from it. I didn't think any less of Joe Biden's ability to lead the country. Because then the next day I saw him in North Carolina and he was a Joe Biden I saw 4 years ago. So for me personally, if you feel swayed by what you saw to the point that you would vote for somebody who will lie to your face, then have at it. I can't stop you from doing those things. But I'm not going to sit here and feel like I was alarmed because of what I saw. And the biggest thing is CNN sounded like Fox News. Because all they had in is it Van Jones or Johnson?
The black guy?
Yeah.
Van Jones.
Thank you. That guy, I'm not going to say that, but he's disappointing to me. And I felt like Moby would say, I felt like that dude just out here cooning. Because it's like, apparently his feelings were hurt and it was painful to watch and all these things. I said, man, if you were really a friend of his, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have said anything you had to say, but I would have spent more time talking about that dude that's up there lying.
Yeah.
He spent all of his time talking about how crappy Joe Biden did, in which he didn't do anything crappy. He sounded bad. But if you're listening to what he actually said, I mean, you mean to tell me y'all gonna spend all your time talking about that as opposed to the dude that spent an hour and a half lying to you? Again, CNN, I ain't got nothing for him no more. After what they showed me, I mean, to a person, I'm like, oh my God, this is wow. So again, people,
about all the behind the scenes things that CNN messed up on too, like no local Atlanta black media was allowed.
I was still wondering how they corrected all that, how they came back from that.
They did.
Okay, because I was going to bring that up next because I was like, they started out the week bad, I mean, I ain't got nothing for CNN anymore. I don't. I mean, what they showed me in the last 10 days is just deplorable. I can't with those people. But how they treated the president was just foul. It was foul. Now I expect that from Fox News. That's why everybody at my job didn't have nothing to say, because they felt like they won. And I understand why they felt like they won. But I'm like, CNN, for somebody who plays like they're supposed to be neutral, they weren't neutral. Not one time. They weren't neutral. That whole 30 minutes they spent talking about what had just happened, they spent all of their time talking about how weak Biden was and how the party needs to figure out another way to do things, even though it's going to be July tomorrow and we're going to vote on this in November, but they need to figure something out. He needs to step aside. All that. I'm like, wow, y'all.
They fell into the trap.
Well, the thing with me overall is this. I'm not afraid to vote for Joe Biden, but what I am afraid of is this dude will be 85 years old if he wins this election coming up. And if he doesn't make it, if he, expires before the term is completed, who I'm actually voting for is Kamala Harris. The Democratic Party they had 3 years to figure this problem out and they didn't do it. That's the real problem to me. They already knew, don't nobody like her. Her confidence numbers are like maybe at 30, probably below. Something really just is not acceptable. That was your real issue and you didn't solve it. So talking about Joe like that, I'm like, you're wasting your time. So I just feel like CNN did him wrong. They caught him on a bad day, but he put out facts. The other dude lied. If you want to vote for a liar, have at it. So that's all I got to say about that, man. It was something else.
Moby?
I didn't want to talk about this subject for long, but honestly, I would be lying if I said I just felt one thing or like I felt like it didn't matter. But I will just start with how I felt about Thursday. Thursday, which is a really, really hard thing to do. It was the worst I've ever felt about the idea of American democracy. It was the worst I've ever felt about it. Because on one end, I'm listening to a dude literally do the most amazing, magical shit ever, which is lie to people who saw him on video saying and doing the things he said he didn't do and saying, oh, I can give you 16 people that can debunk that. How the fuck are 16 people going to tell me you didn't say something that we saw you say on video? Like, and he did it, and nobody, not CNN, not Biden, not people afterwards. No, everybody just says he's a liar. And my thing is like, all right, saying he's a liar is fine. You can say that about everybody. When do we start just fucking checking motherfuckers and be like, no, what you're not going to do is tell me that something didn't happen that I fucking saw happen, that I heard happen. You don't get to say it didn't happen and we just move on. But magically, this motherfucker Trump is Teflon. Like, I feel like there's no way that the result of this election can do anything but be the end of the idea of American democracy. Because let's be honest, this idea of American democracy has never actually been in practice. It's always just been an idea. And I feel like the idea of it ends no matter who fucking gets elected. Because yes, I can talk about the candidate that was lying, or I can talk about the candidate who just looked old. And I don't mean old in a negative way. Like, part of it was making me sad for my own personal context, because I was looking through pictures earlier that day of just my own family. And I got pictures from like 5 or 6 years ago with my daughters and my grandma. And my grandma was like walking, talking, like really energetic. And that's like 6 years ago. And now when I listen to her talk, it's she's still all there. She's still very competent. She still got all her wit, her intellect, but it moves slower and it sounds weaker. And all I kept thinking is, this motherfucker doesn't need to spend his last fucking years trying to save a democracy that the rest of his fucking party were too much of pussies to fucking set up for. Like, Biden is literally out here on his last few years, and I commend him for, because I could say I think Biden is on a power trip, or he's out there because his bitch ass party has not done anything to prep themselves to defeat Trump. So he's out there on his last year. This motherfucker should be relaxing, enjoying the last few years of his life. Like, we should be celebrating the fact that this motherfucker was once the youngest politician. Now he's the fucking oldest politician. We should be celebrating the life of him, and not that celebrating it like he's perfect. Because yes, Biden has fucked up a whole bunch of shit, as as anybody who's been doing something as long as he's been doing would have done. You can't be one of the youngest politicians and one of the oldest without the most fuck ups. It's a statistical improbability. But we got this old guy out here, and all we're doing is bashing him for fucking being old, but having the balls to do what nobody else in this fucking party wants to do. Yet the whole thing is, oh, well, he needs to get out the way. He needs to get out the fucking way. What the fuck have y'all been doing the last 10 years? Ever since Obama got elected, the Democrats have taken the fucking shift off. Obama got elected and Democrats were like, hey, we did it. It's over. We won. And now we're looking around going, well, Biden needs to get out of the way. Biden ass shouldn't even fucking be here. Yep. Like at some point in time, somebody else should have come out, and I do not think Biden, and I don't know the guy, but I don't think, based on the way he carries himself, that he's so egotistical and full of himself that if a logical candidate would have emerged in the last 3 years, that he wouldn't have gracefully bowed the fuck out. He's hearing the same thing everybody else hears. All the young people in the Democratic Party are too fucking extremists, so they'll never win an election. So the only person that can defeat Trump is your old ass. So yes, we know you're tired. We know you got family issues. Like, this dude is dealing with family stresses that are fucking real life. You know, son convicted, he's had a son die. Like, real issues, not bullshit issues, not elite drama, like shit that everybody goes through. And he's fucking 80-something years old, and he's got the most stressful fucking job in the world, and we're criticizing him for fucking being old. While this other motherfucker literally stirred a riot that started a fucking coup at the Capitol. So our options are this dude who's really fucking tired and old, but seems at least to be a decent person. He ain't perfect. I'm sure he's done a whole bunch of foul shit. At least seems to be decent. And then we got this motherfucker that lies, cheats, and steals, but he makes enough of the people who are just hateful, racist bitches feel good about themselves that they'll vote for him. Those are the candidates we have. Like, that's the best America could offer for the quote unquote most powerful position in the world, is a dude that's way too fucking old to even have to do this shit. Let's not say, and for people to be like, he's too old to make these, what fucking decision does a president make on his own?
Not too many.
None. So to say, oh, he couldn't fire back at a debate against one person in 90 minutes, when the fuck does the president have to do anything on improv? None. A president's greatest gift is who he puts around him. And we know the people that Trump are going to put around him. Even though I think one of the biggest blunders Biden ever made was putting Kamala as his vice president, at least he puts competent people around for the most part. People who aren't trying to fucking destroy the country or quote unquote make it great again.
Well,
so Thursday was like, it's the worst I've ever felt about the idea of American democracy. I'm not stupid. I don't think we've ever achieved this quote unquote magical dream of democracy that I know we don't listen to our fucking founding fathers because they were all screaming a two-party system is the death of democracy. And we're in a fucking two-party system in which one of them always likes to say, well, our founding fathers didn't intend this. No, you Republican bitch. Our founding fathers didn't intend to just have two fucking political parties. Our founding fathers didn't put the Electoral College in place so that the minority of the country could rule the country. They did it because realistically, they wanted to make sure everybody's issues were heard. In this day and age, our issues aren't that far apart anymore. So to say that if you live in rural America, your difficulties or challenges in life are so much different than people who live in the inner city is just kind of disingenuous. Because, you know, all those things that the rural people used to say about the city folk, it's funny how all of them are suffering from it too. You know, the crack epidemic was just in the cities. Now that we got amphetamines and shit in rural America, now it's a fucking crisis.
Crack wasn't a crisis, I promise you that.
So it's like, yeah, and I'm not trying to say abolish the Electoral College, blah, 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 because as much as I think it should be, I know that shit ain't never happening. But the idea that Thursday we saw two presidential candidates that I think if you polled most people, they would say they don't want either one of them. Most people would literally say they don't want either one of them. But that's what we got. So I'm supposed to be confident in the results of the election, and where I'm just like, I think we lose no matter who fucking gets elected. If Biden gets elected, we lose, because if you think January 6th was bad, let fucking Biden win again. And if you don't think that when Trump gets elected, he's not going to be, because part of the thing that saved us when Trump got elected the first time is the motherfucker didn't have a plan, because I don't think he expected to win. Honestly, I think it was just like, oh shit, what do I do now? These motherfuckers have plans now.
2025.
They got plans now.
Yes, sir. They do.
They got plans now, and the court's in their pocket. And if Trump gets elected, he's never coming out of the White House until he dies. Whether that's in 4 years or 10 years, he's never coming out. And if Biden gets elected, he's probably going to die because of the job. Because why do we have him doing this, man? Like, I just felt, I went from, at one point in time, I didn't want Biden to be the candidate just because I didn't think he was actually progressive enough. I thought he was too much status quo, and all he was going to do was be a decent person that didn't get shit done. But now I'm just like, let this motherfucker enjoy the rest of his life and not have to deal with this bullshit that we call the presidency. But I mean, you know, so I'm sorry for being long-winded on that. But yeah, I just got depressed watching the debate. I was depressed because I was like, we're fucked either way.
All right. Like I said, I fell asleep I think I got 20 minutes in and I was out. And I woke up with them talking about it. So it was on, was it Saturday morning or Friday evening? They replayed it. I just couldn't bring myself to watch it. I agree with both of you. I mean, you know, best case scenario, Biden wins, and 2 days into his presidency, he walks out. I mean, that's, you know, best case scenario.
No. I told you off channel with the only thing that I think could save the country, and it sounds terrible. They both need to die before the election. It's the only thing that can save the country.
Well, that puts Kamala Harris as president.
But then before the election, which means somebody still has to get elected. That's why I said before the election.
Well, I see what you're saying.
Before they're elected, they both need to die.
I mean,
And I'm not advocating for anybody to kill them or anything like that, or I'm not wishing death upon anyone.
No.
I'm simply doing the Doctor Strange thing where I laid out all the scenarios in my head, and I see one scenario in which we come out all right.
This guy. I mean, yeah.
I mean, look, you can say this guy. You might not want to say it out loud, But do you disagree with me? You ain't got to agree with me, but just tell me you don't disagree with me. Exactly. I'll take your silence for exactly what I want. I'm not saying you got to get on that hill with me. Just acknowledge that that's a hill worth dying on.
I mean, for some people, yes, it is. And that's all I'll say to that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would have been better if people were there. However, I do feel like, when are we got to call this dude out just for lying? At the very least, just call the dude out for lying all the goddamn time.
I feel like as a moderator, I get it. A moderator is supposed to stay out of it, and I give Jake some credit. A couple times he was like, "Hey, you got like 60 seconds left. You want to actually answer the question I fucking asked you?"
Yeah, that was good.
But
Yeah.
at some point in time, I feel like the moderator should be able to cut in. Like, no, you don't get to keep going back on this point over and over and over again.
Yeah,
We're asking you a question about childcare.
which neither one
Answer the
answered because
fucking
they were
question about
talking about other shit.
childcare.
Hey man, it doesn't matter what the question is. It's always immigration coming over the border.
Yo, if you tie immigration into how it's affecting childcare, great. But if you're just talking about immigration still, no, motherfucker. I asked you a question about childcare.
Yeah,
I feel like the moderator should be able to cut their mic if they're getting off subject. Oh, nope. You're talking about some shit that I ain't asked, Mr. President.
yep. I mean, I agree.
I asked you about this, and you answered this. Well, I need to go back. No. You don't get to go backwards.
Maybe if you don't answer the question, you forfeit your time.
Fuck that.
You give the other guy.
If they're not answering the question, give them an electric shock. I mean, God bless America.
I ain't got to do all that.
First of
man.
all, they both too old for that.
Yeah, he ain't wrong about that part.
Biden's too old, and Trump.
It's too old. He's only
Yeah,
like 2 years younger than
Yeah,
him.
but Trump, but not
He
only that,
sounds dominant.
not only that, Trump's got to be like just one really shock away from his high blood pressure, cholesterol. Just
That
off
dude is
of it.
one Big Mac away from being in the hospital.
No,
As a-
no,
as a
that
current
dude,
fat
that
person?
that dude is proof that evil is hard to kill, man. Like
Oh,
you
it
can
says
be,
in the Bible, it's supposed to be that way.
yeah, you're that old,
Yeah.
you're that out of shape, and you don't have any major medical problems that we know about.
He's a cockroach, all right.
I mean, dude had COVID. COVID couldn't kill him.
And then his thing for showing that he was in good shape was the fact that he could still swing a golf club. Sir, I'm in terrible shape. I can swing a golf club.
I'm in worse. And I can swing
I
golf
can
club.
swing a golf club.
But
I
I'll ask you this. But in the moment, is there a better barometer when you're sitting next to Joe Biden?
I'm pretty sure Biden can still swing a golf club.
But he sounded dominant. That's all I'm saying. I mean, because like people in America, we go on how it looks and how it tastes. Doesn't matter if it was cancer. How it looks and how it tastes.
But I will go back to what you said, AG. Like, it's easy to sound dominant when you're saying the same bullshit. Like, you know, if every word that comes out of your mouth is something you don't have to defend, you'll say whatever you fuck you want. You will sound dominant. But
Well, that and he physically sounded better.
Well, but once again, the other thing also is, like, yo, man, and it's not just Trump. It's anybody who's in any type of situation like that. Yo, man, when you got truths, and the motherfucker on the other side is just straight up lying, and you're trying to, it's hard to beat a lie with truth. It's just hard because
I mean, you know, the whole time during debates, one thing I always like wish could happen, and I know it won't. Even if it could happen, I know a lot of people would disagree with me on how I think it would make the country a better place. But when Trump be up there attacking Biden's family, if Biden could just walk over there and steal on that motherfucker one time, I'm just saying, like, in just mid debate, walk over there, hit the shit out of him, and then Will Smith him, be like, keep my son's name out your fucking mouth. Like, I know everybody be like, that's not the way a president should operate, but I feel like there's a large part of the country that would be like, that's a nigga I vote for, right there. I'm just saying, that's a nigga that, like, he might sound old, but if you're still willing to scrap, Like,
Yeah,
'cause
let's
look,
go.
in the black community, we know goddamn well, we know them old dudes that we know they old as shit, but we know they still talk like they still willing to scrap, and we respect them for it. We respect them for it. They go up to that young dude that's 100 pounds heavier than them and ripped, and be like, I'll kick your young ass. And you look at Pops and you be like, you know what? I know you can't, but the fact that I know you still scrappy, I respect it.
Because you don't know what that motherfucker's going to do.
I respect it.
Because, because back then, it won't call dirty boxing.
No,
was
it
called
ain't even
boxing.
that, man. It's just like, you know, no matter how hard and young you are, you still know there's a chance you're gonna get old. And I think when you see an old dude that's still willing to pop off at you like that, it gives you self hope because you be like, you know what? I hope in 30 years I'm still that nigga.
Oh, because that
Like, you know what I'm saying? I hope I'm still willing to scrap like that.
Because
too.
that dude ain't got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
And when you ain't got nothing to lose,
And the young dude ain't got nothing to gain. Because I mean, ain't nobody
Beating
gonna
up an old man. How you gonna come back?
you ain't getting no props for that. Yo, man, I
You're
whooped his old ass. Really do? You beat him?
In fact, you might get shot because
Yeah.
you can beat up an old man. Pop, pop.
That was my uncle, motherfucker. So, yeah, man. I think the next one is in August, and it's gonna have people there, and I think that's the Fox News one, and that's just gonna be sad, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens in August with them people. You know, us.
Do we want another debate?
I mean, there's 3 signed up for. So,
I mean, well, my thing is, and I ask y'all this question. I know I say it all the time, but I really, really want to know what y'all think. Do y'all think there's any such thing as a swing voter right now? Do you think there's anybody right now who doesn't already know with almost 99.9% with condom level security?
yeah, see,
Like,
condom level security. Now, if you said imprint,
no,
Yeah.
Ruben, condom levels 99.9%.
until that bitch rip.
Once again, we ain't talking about if it messes up. I said condom level security. Like, do you think there's anybody that does it 99.9% know who they're voting for today?
Are you talking about with the lubrication?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Do you think there's anybody
Yes.
today?
Yes.
You think there's more than 0.1% of people who really don't know who they're voting for, and these debates are what they're waiting for? They're like, you know what? I really need to see what Trump says about, you know, childcare before I can really make my decision.
I don't think it's the debate they're waiting for. I think they're really waiting for the RNC next week because he's gonna say who's his vice president. And
Don't nobody give a fuck about it.
I don't think it matters. It didn't sway anybody.
Fuck
For
outta here, bro.
Hold on, listen to me. Hear me out. Because a lot of the people who are unsure are Haley people.
Once again, Ruben, I'm gonna call bullshit on this because if Haley had that many fucking people, she wouldn't have got assassinated in the fucking Republican primary. So once again, I didn't say was there nobody, but I'm just saying 99.9% of the population right now knows exactly who they're going to vote for, and there ain't shit that's going to happen between now and November to change their mind.
But hear me out. The reason why I say that is because it's not like Trump was going into states and getting 99% of the vote. He was going to states and getting 60% of the vote, 70% of the vote. I mean, so like he wasn't just destroying shit like Biden was.
In a primary, that actually is destroying somebody.
Well, but
a landslide's 10% or more. So
that's destroying people, Ruben.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that you add all those 20 and 30% of people up that he didn't get. That's a significant amount that could determine something.
So you think those 20 or 30% of people would vote for Biden?
I think that honestly, those people don't know who the fuck they're gonna vote for. You're right.
I disagree.
85%.
I think those people either know who they're voting for or they know they're not voting.
Well, that's the thing.
It's either you, but that's the thing. If you already know you're not voting, Ruben, then the debates ain't swaying you. I just think this idea of a swing voter is bullshit right now.
So here's the thing. What I'm saying is that you're right. However, what I'm saying is that does not mean right today 10% of the people may not vote. Right now, 10% of the people who normally vote may not vote. And you're right. However, that may change the closer we get to election time. And that's all I'm saying. Now, whether it's swing
So
votes or
you're basically saying if Trump doesn't pick the right vice president candidate, you think some of his people will vote for Trump? I mean, vote for Biden.
or some of his people won't vote at all.
Then that's not a swing voter. A swing voter implies that somebody is on the fence about which candidate they will vote for.
Once again,
If your option is
I
either a good vice president candidate or I'm not voting, you're not a swing voter.
well, but once again, what I'm like, first of all, like the term swing voter is just kind of stupid. I think there's 10% of the people who would normally vote are possibly thinking about not voting. And 10% of the population that's not going to vote is a pretty decent sized number. And now they may claim they're not going to vote, and then come November, they say, I got to vote because blah, 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 whatever stupid reason they want to come up with, to make themselves feel better. But I would say, yeah, if there's, because I think the swing vote thing is stupid. I think the term is stupid, and I don't think it's correct. I do think there are a lot of people out there who be like, man, I'm just not going to vote in this election. And that's the people, at the very least, you just want them to come to the polls. That's the people that they're fighting for, because they got to convince them that it's worth their time to go vote.
But you're still kind of saying what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think these debates and everything are really a waste of money because it's not changing anyone's mind about who they're voting for. If it's not going to change your mind about who you're voting for, then it's really, if it's just basically, if I like what I hear, I'll vote for you. If I don't, I just won't vote. Then it's still a waste of money because.
But I disagree with that. I mean, because once again, last election, he won by 7 million votes, which is like a total of what, 4% of the people who voted. And if there's 10% of people who are not going to vote, that is a large amount of people.
But Ruben, I'm not talking about like the people who are going to show up. I'm saying this idea that people are being swayed one way or the other. And you're regurgitating what I'm saying. You're just saying it in a way because you're like, this is about getting people to the polls. And I'm like, fine. Yes, it might get people to the polls, but it's not changing their mind one way or the other about who they're going to vote for. It's only changing their mind about if they're going to vote. That's important. I'm not saying it's not important, Ruben. You're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this idea that all of this shit is going to convince somebody one way or the other of which candidate they're going to support. That's a fallacy. I don't think that's true. It's only going to dictate if the guy that you already were going to vote for, is it going to confirm if you're actually going to go vote for them or if you're just not going to show up. I don't think there's any person that's really sitting there going, I really don't know if I want to vote for Trump or if I want to vote for Biden. I need more information before I make my decision on who I'm going to vote for. I don't think that's what's happening. I think it's either somebody who really wants to vote for Biden and they're just looking for a reason to go vote for him, or they really want to vote for Trump and they're just looking for a reason to go vote for him. I don't think there's that many people who are really on the fence going, I don't know who I want to vote for. I'm not talking about it's not important to get people out. I agree that these debates and everything, all that does is excite your base to excite people to get to the poll. I'm just saying this idea that people are watching these debates to change their mind, I think is a fallacy. I don't think anybody went into Thursday genuinely feeling like, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. And then after the debate, they were like, you know what? That decided it for me. I'm going to vote for the other guy. Now, it might have made them go, I've decided, fuck this place. I'm not voting.
I think a decision was made from some people, but I don't think it's A or B necessarily. I think it could always be A, B, or C. And so
What is
yeah.
C? The C is not showing up, right?
Yeah.
Then really it's either A or C or B or C. It's not A or B.
No,
And the point of these debates was supposed to be for people who really don't know who they're going. AG, am I just not explaining it right? Do you
no,
see
I
what
just
I'm
don't.
saying?
I just think that I think that you're wrong. I think that there are unfortunately some people who don't know who they're going to vote for. I'm not saying it's like 5. I'm not saying it's 10 million people, but I will say it's probably an amount that's important. I think it's more than a million people. I do think so.
I think you have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think what Ruben is saying is the debates will help people, like you were saying, that that maybe didn't even plan on voting. That would get them to the polls because people who don't vote actually matter more than people who do vote sometimes. And that 4% gap that Biden won by will shrink because those people aren't there, which makes the margin even smaller. I think that's what you're saying, right, Ruben?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Saying, what you're saying is also true. I think what his concern is, if I'm not mistaken, what he is concerned about are the people who, at this point, don't want to vote. And I've heard that a lot in the last 24 hours. They don't want to vote at all because they're like you. Fuck this country, because our both decisions are stupid. So I'm not going to vote at all. He's saying that he thinks these debates will help get those people to vote for somebody, or if there's a segment of that actually are seriously undecided even before the debate, and they're using this to help them get off the couch or not. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying, Ruben?
Yes.
Okay, that's what he.
I just don't know if the number of people who are undecided about voting are being swayed by the debates.
They might not be, but I'm just saying that's his concern.
Okay,
that's his major concern.
Yeah, I just feel like this idea that people are changing their minds is because that's all the media outlets say. Yeah. Oh well, all these swing states. Oh well, voters are going to be swayed by this. And
they got to roll with something. They got to roll.
People ain't swayed by nothing right now because we're voting for gains. We're not.
I'm saying that. CNN, Fox News, all those cats, they got to have something. They got to say something. So that's what they're saying.
And that's what I was saying, Ruben. Like I feel like they're saying it, but it's not an accurate statement.
Yeah, it's completely false. What Moby started out saying was, like, for me, it's like what I saw is not going to change my mind about who I voted for.
I'm not voting for Trump under any fucking circumstance,
and that's never going to change.
And that's how I feel. And there are people who are like, I'm not voting for Biden under any fucking circumstance. And I feel like that's the majority.
Those people are set in stone.
Yeah,
but I think that's the majority of the country are set in stone.
It's probably about 95% of the country.
That's 5%. True, but what Ruben is concerned about is that 5% could be the difference, or make that margin square.
And that we agree. And that's why I said I think me and Ruben are saying the same thing in principle. I agree that matters, but I just get tired of seeing the news outlets and everybody frame it as if these things are swaying people from side to side. That's not what's happened. These things are this thing is either making it so people want to show up or they don't want to show up. It's not swaying people one way or the other.
They can't say that.
Why the fuck not?
Because that's not news. That's not bringing people to watch their shit.
I agree. They're Fox News too. So I mean, they have to say something to make people want to watch, and I agree with that. But like Moby was saying, doesn't sway anybody. Your hope is that these debates will get someone to vote that doesn't want to or just is fed up. So I understand everybody talking.
Yep. All right. So let's move from old people.
Really?
I mean,
let's move from old people. I can't move from my dad, man. I love that dude.
I mean, not that, but not those old people. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, hey man, AG, I need some Hey Lazy today, baby. What you got, man?
What I have is I was on, actually it was really ironic that you wanted me to do a Hey Ladies today, because I was on not TikTok, but Instagram the other day, and yet again heard this woman talk about that she is the prize. And I got so frustrated. And I don't know why I let myself get frustrated at something that happens constantly, but it irritated the crap out of me. And I was like, oh my God. Because usually with women that say they're the prize, they're the last thing you want in your life. The last thing. So I was like, you know what? Since Ruben wants me to say something about it, I'll say something about it. And it's not unlike anything I've ever said. It's not unlike anything Moby has ever said. This is not new. But I looked it up. I looked up prize. I started this whole thing, but I said, let me look up prize and see what it says. And definition 1 is a thing given as a reward to the winner of a competition or in recognition of outstanding achievement. I said, okay. So that goes along with the life of a dude, I believe. We are tasked with working hard and being able to afford a prize, a woman in this case. And I'm thinking to myself that there's only 1% that actually fit into that category, and the rest of them aren't prizes. So I'm like, how in the world do you work? Like, if you start learning this stuff when you're 12, or at least for me, early on. So say you spend the next 10 years, you go to college or you go to vocation school, you're really planning on this stuff, you're working hard, you in the position to buy a home, or at least you have an apartment, you have somewhere to live, you're providing all these things. And this woman comes along to tell you she's the prize, and you marry her and she doesn't do anything. She's not good at anything. She wants you to be able to change the motor oil in her car, but she can't cook from scratch. In fact, she can't cook at all. In fact, you spend 20% of your monthly income either buying groceries to cook for her or taking her out somewhere. So does that sound like a prize to either one of y'all? It doesn't sound like a prize to me.
I mean,
no.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Okay.
Because trophies are prizes, and trophies don't do shit. They just sit and displayed, and
you said that.
They just sit in displays and they look pretty. Now, her only job is to maintain her prettiness. But then that makes her shallow, because we're like, hey,
thank
you. You don't look like that trophy no more,
right? Because you actually look fat in that dress, but I can't tell you. I can't tell you. She
don't look fat in that dress.
What?
If she looks fat in that dress, she looks fat out of that dress. That's the law of fat. That's how it works. As a fat person myself, I realize that clothing has never made me look fat. It's actually always been my fat that made me look fat.
I realize that, but see, they can hide behind that because when you're 20, you're still banging them. I'm just saying, you're still sleeping with them. They can hide behind that. So, okay. But I'm glad you brought that up, because the next thing I looked up was what God has to say about all this. And yes, ladies, God has requirements for women that are wives, especially, that very rarely you fulfill. Loyal, maybe. Helpful,
conditional. It's usually
exactly. That's why I said maybe. Helpful, no. Well, you might help me feel bad. You might help me feel like I ain't nothing. You might help me do a lot of things that don't benefit me. So I don't really think that's help in the pure sense of the word. So that's what we're going with. Cheerful, yeah, no. That's not usually the case, especially when you're not getting your way. Precious treasure. Treasure in and of itself has value. It can help you go forward. It can help you be vertical. It can help you do something. It can help you feel secure. Most of the women that say they're a prize can't do those things. They expect you to have it for them, but they don't have anything for you. And then again, this is just scratching the surface, because this goes deeper than just a few, bullet points that I just put out there. So I'm going to ask y'all. And certainly I'm not really asking Mo B at all, because I understand he is probably married to exactly what I'm not talking about. I know I am. But those situations are rare. So if you are a prize, if you're supposed to be something good and healing to me, how come I never found those qualities? I didn't get married till I was 45. So that meant I spent a lot of time dating women that didn't have, except for one time, that didn't have value based on what value actually is. You're not helping me go forward. You are not healing me at all. You're not nurturing to me at all. You expect everything to be done for you. And if you're expecting everything to be done for you, that certainly means there's no room for you to do anything for me. It's like buying a brand new car that has a check engine light on it, and they expect you to pay this money every month for something that started out flawed and broken. I just don't agree. You got to put up with their dads and their moms and their families. You got to sit there and be chastised, and she's going to sit there and watch you be chastised. But I guarantee you, if you let your family treat her and disrespect her like that, it would be a problem. You wouldn't stay married. So I'm just trying desperately to understand how something or someone, I shouldn't say something, but someone that is supposed to be a prize cost me so much. Can y'all help me?
I mean, I got some theories. You know what I'm saying? I got my fair share of theories.
And but I mean, are they real answers though?
I think they sound legit. That's why I think there's some solid theories. And honestly, I think it's a societal problem. And it starts in childhood. And even some of the, and I'm not anti-woman. I'm not even really anti-feminism, except for the fact that feminism doesn't really ask for equality. They ask for a leg up. But from an early age, we are so conscious of constantly letting little girls and young ladies know that they are enough. No matter what their flaws are, no matter what their shortcomings are, we constantly say, you're enough. And one of the things we teach boys and young men is you're never enough. So if you've got one sect that walks around realizing that they never can be enough, and all they've heard all their life is that the other side is always enough and is always worthy, it sets a system of guys tolerating not getting enough, because as a guy, you're already taught that you can never be enough. And you're taught that she already is enough. Therefore, it's why I always say that guys are always trying to get brownie points, because we don't know what the score is, but we know we're behind. So we know we're constantly trying to get points because we're behind. And we've been programmed to think that at early age, and this is not a shade to women. And when I say it's not a shade to women, it's like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have responsibility, because I believe once you become an adult, you have a responsibility to apply logic to everything that's been given to you when you were impressionable. Meaning, I don't think it's like, well, I was raised this way. Well, once you become an adult, you have a responsibility to yourself to combat yourself with logic and your own self-thought. But I also understand that it's a difficult thing to break. It's the same, way where guys aren't overtly emotional because as a kid, we're taught we're not supposed to be. Now, that doesn't mean at 30 years old, you still get to be a fragile, insecure motherfucker who just lashes out at people because you can't express your feelings. We go, that's your job as an adult to fix that shit. So the problem is there's an accountability of self. And so if a woman's taught from the age of 5 that they're a prize, at 30, she's still a product of that teaching. Unfortunately, at 30, I don't tolerate what you were taught at 6, because you've had 12 years of adult fucking experience to figure out that, bitch, you ain't a prize. You've got to put some work in it. Like you're only a prize if you make yourself a prize. You're not a prize by default. I don't think it's any, and I don't think any person should feel like they're devoid of the responsibility of being the best version of themselves to be worthy of the love that they seek. Like as a guy, if I don't do my part if I do my part as a husband, I don't deserve to keep my wife. And it should be vice versa. If she doesn't do her fair share, her part, she does not deserve to be the prize anymore. Now, I'm not asking, I don't think we should ever ask for perfection, because part of this idea of you being the prize is that you're infallible. And that's where the problem comes in. It's like, I don't think there's too many guys that really want their significant other to be perfect. I know I don't, because then that just magnifies all my fucking flaws. But what I would like is some acknowledgement that, hey, I need to work on these things and I'm trying. Not the, well, you just got to understand this how I am. Because I don't get to say that.
Take it or
Not
leave
ever.
it.
Not ever.
Take it or leave it. This is it. Whoa, player. Nope. So, as the only person here who's not married, I would say almost being 51, not that that really matters, is really interesting to see, because like you got Belichick out here dating 24-year-olds, effing up everything. Thanks, man.
How's that effing up, man? All he's doing is he's just proving all the things that guys say it's true. If you got enough money, it don't fucking matter.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, at this point in time, I'm not, and I would probably say, like, with you, AG, like, you were 45 when you got married. So I would say for me is probably, I'm really not, like, accepting stuff that I don't feel like I can deal with. Like we've talked about my shit. Like, I'm not a big dog guy. And if she's got a dog, that's a hard one. I mean, at my age, as much as I want to if I want to sit here and be like, yeah, I got deal breakers. Like I said last week, if I don't want to be single, I don't still have deal breakers. I have some things that I can't deal with, such as.
I kind of disagree. I think everybody can and should have deal breakers.
Yeah, well,
the only thing about that is if you have deal breakers, you also have to understand and accept the fact that your deal breakers are eliminating a population. So you can't then be, because as 51-year-old single male, Ruben, what I don't hear you do a lot of is bitching saying these women ain't shit, and that's why you single. Because that's what women who have the same things that you have, which is like deal breakers and I'm still single. Most women that you hear, because I'm not gonna say all of them actually feel this way, but most women that you hear, they don't say that they're the problem. They say it's all these ain't shit niggas that's the problem. where you constantly come over here and almost to a fault self-deprecate and say, yeah, I know I've got deal breakers and that's why I'm not single, because you're a guy and you've been taught that you have to take accountability for those things. But the truth of the matter is there's nothing wrong with deal breakers. There's nothing wrong with any person having a deal breaker. You just got to accept what those deal breakers bring.
Correct. And and I've thought about last week, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but there are levels. Everybody's deal breakers, but there are levels. Like for me, like the dog thing, it's kind of high, but what's higher than that? Women smoking. That's a very much stronger deal breaker for me. But as far as the prize, man, it's just like, if she's about her, then I don't want to be with her, because that's not what I'm looking for. That's just me. So like, I guess I don't know if I'm answering your question or not, AG, but like,
I mean, actually, it sounds like you're just saying if she thinks she's the prize, you don't want her.
yeah, because if you think
I feel
you're
like
the
that's fair
prize,
enough.
then
Yeah.
you feel just like, I mean, yeah, I ain't got the time.
Nor should you, because what I've also noticed, Lauren and I talk about this all the time. If you find a woman that will tell you what she's going to do for you at any level,
Mhm.
you might want to mark that one down, because most women don't feel as though they don't have to do anything for you. They are completely entitled. I can call you out your name, you better not slap me, which I'm not advocating violence, but the idea that you're already telling me that I'm just going to strip you of any respectable thing
Yeah, buddy.
and you're not going to touch me, that already lets you know who she is. She
Mhm.
hasn't told you anything that she's going to do for you. Nothing. Because she's the prize and she deserves this or that or the other. Like I said, women expect things of us, but we're not allowed to expect anything from them. Nothing. So, yeah, you got to be really particular.
And I mean, if that's how you roll, that's how you roll. I'm just saying that everybody don't roll like that.
I
But
mean,
you
if
might
that's
find that one.
it's not. No, man. There's way more simps out there in the world than guys who actually want like value. They're far more simps because we celebrate the prize.
Yeah.
We celebrate these women who constantly say what they ain't gonna do, and I don't fuck with no nigga who ain't got no money. So we celebrate that. So simps are celebrated. You know, it's you know, the shift happened even in the music, because you know my old school hip hop sensibilities and all those tracks back in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was like I'm fucking her for free. You know what I'm saying? Why these sucker niggas out here paying? And now, then the shift happened when motherfuckers started saying it ain't tricking if you got it. No, sir, use a trick. That's what you are. If you're trying to say it ain't tricking if you got it, that's because you, sir, are a trick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Speak on it.
so the culture shift happened. Then you have dudes out here saying, I can buy a bitch. And he ain't wrong. He can buy a bitch. You can't buy a respectable woman, but you damn sure buy a bitch. That shit's proven. That's the statistical fact. So the shift happened. So, you know, like, nah, those women who think they're the prizes, they ain't never gonna be losing, because there's always gonna be somebody that's willing to simp and say, yeah, you are the prize, until they ain't. And then, you know, she'll go try to find another simp. You know, it's the simp life, you know.
Simp life.
Every day a new simp is made, man. Every day a new simp is made.
Every day.
Every day. And in all honesty, there's really not too many men who ain't guilty of simping at some point in time in their life.
Yeah,
It's just, at most, you just hopefully at some point in you some point in time, young blood, you just learn that, hey man, this simping shit it's not a sustainable way of life.
Not being happy.
Yeah, exactly.
For you to be happy.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, you could simp forever. But if you want to be happy, that ain't the move. So
nope.
And ladies, it happens all the time, ladies. You ladies you'll walk down the street and you'll see some decent looking dude. You know, I ain't saying he a millionaire, I ain't saying, but you know, got his shit together. And then you see the lady that he's with, and you in your head think, man, she not even all that fine. That's because that dude traded in his simp card for his happy card.
It's a simp card.
Yeah, he basically was like, "Hey,
we all have one. We all have one."
Yeah, he cut his simp card up, and he was like, "You know what? Nope. And now I'm not saying that young lady, that other lady is ugly or unattractive. I'm not saying any of those things, and I'm not saying that to demean the other woman, but a lot of this makeup and 2-foot eyelashes and all that shit, those are simp headlights. You know what I'm saying? Like simps go run into that. I hear ladies all the time talk about, man, when I ain't got no makeup on, I just got some sweatpants on, all these dudes are hollering at me. You know why? Because those are the dudes that ain't simps no more. They
Yeah.
just like, hey, I want to know what you look like. You know what I'm saying? I want
They
to know
want
what
a
this
real woman.
conversation. I want to know what this conversation like. I want to know if you in fact think you are the prize, how does that prize benefit me? And please, please don't tell me that you got the best pussy ever, because I don't believe none of you tricks. Like, I just don't believe none of you tricks. So what are you actually doing for me? And all guys are sustainable to ego. If that woman makes you feel great about yourself, that's when you turn your simp card in. If that woman can make you feel good about yourself, I don't need this simp card no more.
Here you go.
And AG, you talk about it all the time. Your wife makes you feel great about who you are.
Yep.
She might not make you feel perfect. She gonna undress you sometimes, but overall, she makes
Sometimes
you
that's a
feel
good
great
thing.
about exactly, because sometimes it's needed, as long as it's done with love. And sometimes women ain't good at doing that, but look, it happens. If I respect you enough, I want that from you.
Truth. Or either that or you already know and you just try to stay out of that.
Exactly.
I think that's the easiest way for me, is like, you already know what is bad, so don't get in the doghouse to start with.
You already know if you're trifling.
Exactly. That's why I don't leave dishes overnight, because I'm not trying to hear it. Take you 10 minutes to make your wife happy, sir. 10 minutes or less.
Awesome. So yeah, that ego, man, that ego is if somebody can make you feel good about who you are, yeah, you don't have to simp no more. That's the one you're trying to be with.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nice little hey, lady. It's been a minute. He comes up to the thought provoking. So, OB, man, what's on your mind?
I mean, there's a couple things on my mind.
Uh-oh.
One, my youngest daughter is away for a month. I had to take her to her camp, and even though she don't ever really talk or acknowledge me, like, it feels weird with her not being here, looking at me like I'm the old nigga in the way. Like, I miss the negative looks already.
You missed that?
I miss that.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like texting her. I don't ever text her. I'm like, I know you've only been gone a couple hours. I'm texting. She FaceTimed me, and I'm like, oh, FaceTimed us, I should say, because she really FaceTimed my wife, because who the fuck am I? But hey, man, I it's weird, man. Like the missing her part is not so. It's a selfish miss, because I'm not necessarily missing the fact that she's not here. I'm missing the fact that now it's somebody else's responsibility to protect her right now, because she's not here. When she's here, I know that's my job. And I'm like, I understand why guys get emotional about that. Like, I don't want to give up that responsibility. That responsibility makes me feel good about myself. And, so yeah, that's what's on my mind. Another thing, man, that's on my mind is like, Ruben, thank you, man. Thank you for being a good friend, a friend that allows me to really, really give you shit when and understand that I don't mean it in a negative way.
We were just talking about that before you came on.
I know I gave you some shit this week, and you took it like a G. You was like, because you was out here trying to get brownie points, and I'm like, no, sir, you a grown ass man. You don't get no motherfucking brownie points. you either did that shit or you didn't do that shit. We don't have moral victories in manhood. You either did that shit or you didn't do that shit. You don't get to backdoor your way into success. I'm not gonna give you a high five for trying, giving your best goddamn effort. No, fuck that
was
shit.
Harsh, man. Why you
done.
gotta be so harsh, man?
But I did it. But I realized, like, I give them shit, but it ain't because like I'm judging. It's like, nah, nigga, like, don't make it easy for yourself just to keep yourself from doing what you want to do. Like, I talked to Cadence today when I left her because she was nervous and everything, and I was like, "What are you nervous about?" She was like, "I don't know anybody here. I don't know," and I'm like, "Look, I don't know who said it, and I don't know where I heard it from, but they said happiness is usually right on the other side of whatever you're afraid of."
Truth.
And I was just like, "So, yo, just be scared of it. Ain't nothing wrong with being scared of it, but that don't mean you can't do it. You just go ahead and do it, and I promise you'll be happier for it. Whether you succeed or fail, you'll be happier for going through it." So a lot of times, man, I'd be like, "Ruben, man, just you got pissed, get off the pot, man. Like, go ahead and do that shit, man." I'm not gonna be the dude that's like, "Oh, you really did a valiant effort. I really appreciate how inspired you were when you had a good plan and you tried and no, motherfucker, go do that shit. If you fail, you fail, man." Because part of being, friends with people is like, I want to push you to failure. Because you can't get to success without hitting some failures. So I want to push you to failure. So when you fail, I can still be like, I'm still here. We still gonna get this shit together. But yeah, you failed. Now stop fucking around and go do that shit.
Very true.
So I appreciate you for taking that shit. And honestly, I wish I could be as hard on myself as I am on you.
That means he really enjoys giving you a hard time.
No, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy
sure?
it.
Because I've heard it. I've heard it. Are you sure?
I don't enjoy it, but what I also don't enjoy is I don't enjoy somebody that I have immense respect for selling themselves short.
I believe
I'd rather be the bad guy in a paragraph of your story if it propelled you to do something great. If you got to hate me for 5 minutes to be happy with yourself for the next 15 years, cool. Hopefully we've built up enough equity along the way, enough friendship equity where I won't try to undress you because I was just being a hater. Or I was just being a bitch for some reason. Like or I was trying to bully you somehow. Like that ain't me.
Nah, we good, man. No, we gonna talk about that too. Very briefly. we all gonna talk about that. All right. What's on your mind, AG?
Be in the moment. And sometimes it's really hard to do because you just live in life or whatever it is. And I have had problems doing it. I think I do it more as I get older. But I was sitting here with my wife today, and I've had a lot more time with her. And I have learned to tell her that I appreciate being married to her as it's happening, as opposed to waiting for some sort of occasion or what have you. So if you are aware that something special is going on in your present day, bask in it. Take a minute, look around, because that minute is fleeting. And bask in it. And it's okay. But yeah, smell the roses. Stop and smell the roses and appreciate it and move on. It's a lot easier than not having it or not appreciating it and then have it be gone. You thinking about it years later, you might have missed something, or you might regret not saying anything at all. So that would be my thing for today. What's on my mind is just like be in the moment, appreciate something good that's happening if you're aware, and just smell the roses.
Scott sitting here talking some thugnificence, man. Bask in it.
It's funny. I can't remember what movie it was, but I remember the guy saying, I wish somebody would have told me we were having the best time of our lives when we were having the best time of our lives.
Yeah. Exactly. You don't know it all the time, but sometimes you do. You probably want to appreciate it.
Yep.
Can't slow time down, but just appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to do my best to be as brief as I can. First of all, feet doing better. My next doctor's appointment is on the 17th. We're hoping that's it.
Sweet.
Because paying $50 copay each goddamn time is becoming expensive.
Well, at least it's only 50. Could be more.
Well, yeah, but they sent me a bill too, so I was like, what the fuck? This is why I have insurance. Like, whatever. But which almost is guaranteeing me very close to hit my insurance deductible this year. So if that happens, I'm getting a new ACL. Because that shit's partially torn. I'm just getting that shit done. That way I ain't got to pay nothing. So couple weeks ago, I said that my goal this summer is to go on a date. That's my goal. I'm still sticking to that. So I'm gonna kind of explain what Moby was talking about. So this past week, did some volunteer work, met a nice young lady, whatever. Spent some time, did some stuff that I really don't want to get into. But I fumbled the ball.
You spent like a minute telling us
Don't
nothing.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let it go. Let it
spent
go.
some time doing some things I'm not going to tell you about.
I mean, it's almost 2 hours, man. So I know I'm long-winded. So when it's all said and done, I'm on the goal line, and I fumbled the ball. I should have asked for information. On my last day there, I punked out. And that's what Moby was talking to me about.
Dude, are you serious?
I punked out like a bitch. Like, so
Did you? I mean, okay.
so-
I'm sorry.
AG, I'm not going to say Ruben actually punked out.
Okay, what would you say?
I did. There was some cock blocking happening.
I'm about to say what it was is he allowed some extenuating circumstances and some minor obstacles to allow himself a way out.
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm following.
Okay. So when it's all said, we'll be very brief.
Okay.
I'm at where I was Monday. She walks up to me, talking, cool vibe.
Sure.
She's cute, that sort of thing. Okay, whatever. Very good conversation, like 30, 40 minutes long. All right,
Wow.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah. She walked up to me. So, but then I was the only one with a different color shirt on. So Parva was probably like, who the fuck are you? And I'm very fine with that. So Tuesday, I'm just like, all right, I need to get some more FaceTime. I didn't get a lot of FaceTime. She was looking very good. I'd like to say that was for me, but I can't guarantee that. But the one time I did get to see her, I complimented her. And, she made a statement basically saying like, hey, if I knew I had to do is get compliments, I would have come here earlier or whatever. And I was like, you don't need to do that to get compliments.
So this is full on flirting at this point.
Exactly.
So
She is letting you know unequivocally that she wants you to do something.
AG, that's part of what I was upset about. Not the fact that he backed out, the fact that he did all the hard work.
Exactly.
You
So
did,
she
you
served
did
it up
all the
to you.
hard stuff.
So I'm not done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the next day, once again, boom, boom, we have conversation. I'm doing stuff there. Hey, if you want, hey, can you do this? No, not really. I'm not good. And I was like, so you just haven't had a good enough instructor. I was like, won't you come see me a little later? Between classes or whatever, I can teach you how to do this.
No, man,
Word.
you get to, you're allowed to say what you were doing.
I mean, I was teaching archery to kids.
Yeah.
And I put the invite out there.
So AG, what have I always said? I said, if you really want a woman to necessarily be impressed with you, let her see you in charge of something, doing
Yes.
something. And
Yes.
he was running an archery class. She came up to him about it, and he said, hey, I can teach you. And she was like, bet, let's do that.
I'm just trying to
You
figure
did
out
all the work.
all this goodness, all this pavement that you've laid. I'm trying to figure out how this goes poorly.
I'm getting there.
Oh my God.
So later on, she comes down. I teach her archery.
One-on-one.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. She's an
Not
adult.
even a crowd around? You don't have
No.
other people
No.
taking your attention?
No.
It's
No.
just you and her.
Yes. And we have conversation. I learn more about her. That sort of thing. Whatever. We have very good conversation. So whatever. Cool. Thursday, I just got caught up in a whole bunch of different things. And I couldn't make my way to her at all. That is, we
Nah,
crossed paths.
you said there were too many people around.
Well, no, that's it. That's later on. I'm getting there.
Okay.
But throughout the day, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We're crossing paths. It just doesn't work out. I can't.
Wait. Back up a minute.
Yes.
I understand that you're busy. I get that. But
Yes.
did you at least look at her square in her face to let her know I see you? Did any of that happen?
Every time I saw her, yes, you best believe it.
So you were still laying pavement.
Most definitely.
Man, okay, go ahead.
So get ready to leave. I'm like, I go down with one of my people because that person, she's about to leave. I was like, I'll go with you. Say goodbye. Hey, look, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. Fumble the ball, man.
You're not going to be here tomorrow, and what?
And I was trying to do it. Too many people. I got nervous. I fumbled the ball. 100%. I didn't do it.
And, AG, and my response was, look, bro, you had done all this foundational thing. You didn't even have to make a scene in front of those people. You could have just been like, yo, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Want to keep in contact with you.
Yeah.
Here's my information.
Boom. 100%. 100%. I ran 99 yards and I got shot in the back just like Daniel Jones, and I fumbled that bitch before I crossed the line. Straight up.
So I can just call you Leon Lett from now on.
I mean, yeah, same shit. Don Beebe came and knocked that bitch out.
He did all of the hard stuff.
Did the work, man. I did the work.
And I was like, you didn't even have to ask for her information. You could have just gave your information.
Yes. So
I'm trying to go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So I say all this to say that everybody who's listening, the two people right now, and everybody listen later, don't be me. Go at man. If you see something or somebody, don't fumble the ball. Just do it, bro.
So AG, that's why I was hard on him, man.
Yeah,
you know what? You know what, Mo? I'm disappointed that you weren't even more hard on him.
Oh no. I was hard on him. Trust me.
Are you sure about that? Because what I heard you describe wasn't hard enough.
No. I was hard because what I kept saying was like, bro, you did all the hard stuff, man.
I did everything I was supposed to do.
Because what I was really getting mad about is because he was like, well, at least I had a plan, it just didn't work. And I was doing all this talking. I'm like, no, we don't get fucking moral victories here. Motherfucker, you were there. You did all of the hard stuff. You broke the ice. You had all the intimate conversation. She saw you doing something that you were in charge of. You had one-on-one time with her. Like, bro, all you had to do was say, hey, I'm not going to be here. It was really nice. It was really nice getting to know you. Here's my information. I'd love to keep in contact with you. Keep it pushing. Like, that's it. You didn't have to do. I said, you didn't have to do no Tevin Campbell sang from the top of the mountain. Can we talk shit? You literally could have just said, here's the number. Holla at your boy.
Can we talk for a minute?
Yeah, that's the thing. He had already done that. Like all the things that Tevin was talking about that he was having this problem. He did that shit. You had already done it, bro.
So KB Acko should have rolled in tomorrow and said you had to get them digits. So here is Friday. I'm freaking out. I fucked up. I didn't make the move I should have made. I called my person who was there. Yo, I mean, we got it. I was talking to him. She was helping me out. She was like she went and found more information. I already knew it, but I didn't need to tell her that. But like, boom, I got an email. And she was like, she gave me her email. She's like, she's waiting for an email from you. I sent a nice email. Crickets. And she's traveling for work. So that's the thing.
When was this?
This was Friday.
Just 2 days ago.
Yes.
Okay.
But for what she does, she's traveling. She's traveling right now. Like she got on the plane on Saturday and went to the West Coast. So like she's doing shit. And I know 100% that I fucked up. All I'm saying is, because I let everybody on this show know I got goals. And I just want to let you know we came close to this goal, but I fumbled. So the next time I come close to a goal, I'm gonna remember this shit and not go fumble.
You'll know just what to say.
I will say something. It may not be what I really want to say out my mouth, but words will come out. At least I'm gonna do the do because she's cool. She's very attractive.
And she wanted you.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the part that blows my mind.
Wanted you to.
Yes. And I'm pissed.
Because
I'm
you gotta
so-
you also gotta understand that by you not doing it, one of two things has happened. Either one, she thinks you just ain't fucking interested, or that you technically rejected her, or two, she's like, this punk ass motherfucker didn't even want
I'm voting for number 2 all
It's
day.
not number one because she knows I'm interested.
Number
It's
number two
It's
all day.
probably number 2. And if I don't get a call back or a communication back, it's probably number 2. And I gotta live with that. And,
You really
know,
do.
And you know what? Look, man, my birthday is
All right,
Saturday.
See now I'm interested because you said something, and I know you don't want to divulge into it, but fuck that. You put it out there. This is Ruben Be Vulnerable show right now.
Oh,
Never fucking happened. So you said you sent her email communication. What type of fucking email communication did you send her?
We'll talk. We'll show you later.
No.
What
No,
did he
so
just say? What did he just say?
I ain't saying you gotta give me the details.
So
I'm
literally,
just saying, what was the overall message of
the
your
overall
email?
email was like, I think the email was basically like, nice meeting you. Had a great week. I'm very interested to keep in touch. Here's my information below. Please use it. That sort of thing. It was very because which is the other crazy part is on the work email. So I didn't want to get to whatever. Exactly. So
No. You not interpreting my side correctly. My thing is when you fumble like that, you can't come in with no weak thing that could still be misconstrued as some networking type shit.
Oh no, it was
Because that shit still seems slightly networking like. I ain't saying you gotta talk nasty to her on the work email,
so here's the thing.
if no, you ain't gotta answer the question. But if your work email, if this email communication you sent didn't imply that I found you attractive and I would like to talk to you on a non-professional level, I dropped the ball. I meant to get this information. I just didn't go through with it. If it wasn't that fucking bold, like that clear and defined what you want, you pussyfooted out of it twice.
Well, this is what I will say. I will say this. The reason why I didn't
When
go
you
that
say
deep,
you was, if I say when you say this, you basically just told me, yes,
Well-
I bitched out via email.
Look, man,
How the fuck do you via?
fuck you, first of all. But like,
Wow.
all I'm saying
Wow.
is look, man, if it was like a private contractor email, like to where she worked, like she works for the government. No, I'm not doing that.
So,
And plus, I don't.
So there
plus,
are government regulations against you saying you have interest in someone.
man, I'm just not doing it.
I ain't saying send her a dick pic via email. I said I said just express that you ain't just trying to
I'm just-
network, buddy. Like
Well,
that's all you
what I
had to
did-
say.
So what I did though is I sent it to my person at the place. What do you think? And they approved it. And that person was female. So they approved it. And that's why I sent that.
All right,
And
I'm gonna say something that's gonna make I'm
Oh,
already
Jesus
called the sexist. We've sat here and talked about how bad the advice that women give is sometimes.
no, she's solid. though.
But
she is solid.
we've talked about it multiple times.
Yes, we have.
And the person you went to just happened to not have a penis and gave you the approval.
One,
you
she did not have a penis. And then two, she was on my side. Like legit. So like,
Yeah, because she thinks you're a nice, sweet guy. And
Well-
you're not trying to talk to her.
well, yeah, because she's married. So
Once again,
like,
I'm not saying her advice might not have been sound. I'm simply stating I don't. Look, man,
hey,
you got
can
it,
be
man.
mad.
I'm not
I'm-
mad. That's the thing. It's not anger. I'm trying to quote unquote give you advice for the lessons you should have learned from this.
I just didn't want to come off. I didn't want to come off as a creeper. when it's all
Dude,
said and done.
she lets you know that she wants you to creep all over her. What
Oh,
in the
man.
world, bro?
Here's the
I
thing.
don't know about all that.
Yeah, I do.
If you get called a creeper for expressing that you had interest, but then saying I didn't think it was appropriate to ask for your personal information in the midst of all the kids, that doesn't make you sound like a creeper. That makes you sound fucking respectful. You could have salvaged this thing by just being direct. Like I know it's a novel concept, but my mom told me a long time ago, you would be amazed at what a woman will do if you just give her direct, honest options. So all you had to do in this email is express, hey, I was really interested in you. I was really feeling you. Asking for your information in front of the kids didn't seem like the very thing they do, but here's my personal number. If you're interested, holla at your boy.
That's pretty much, except for the.
Nah, your shit
Hold
sound
on.
like some networking
I'm
type
gonna
shit.
let you see it later. I'm just saying. Look, man. You know,
Keep in contact.
we protect the innocent here. So
I enjoyed our time at work.
I don't think I said all that.
It was really neat getting to know you.
AG, this is that shit. This is that shit, AG. That shit. I'm already like stabbing myself, and this guy wants me to take an axe to my neck now, and I'm just like, look,
Man,
I
look,
understand why I messed up. I completely understand.
I'm
And
not. I tell you
I
what,
didn't do
man.
it right.
I'm not going to harp on this. Because honestly, I feel ultimately what I feel like is, if this was meant to be, she'll call you, or
Exactly. That's
she'll
where I'm
return
at.
your email or whatever it is.
That's really where I'm at.
I agree with that.
And
I just want in the future for this not to happen.
well,
Oh,
actually, if he nails this down, maybe it won't happen again because he'll get it all together. But my thing with you is, I don't understand. I think my frustration is just like, how could it be? You've made it so
know.
easy, and she made it so obvious.
I did the work. I was scared.
It's not even that you did the work, Ruben. That's not what frustrates me.
No.
You're really good at doing the work. I've seen you talk to women before. You're good. You're not awkward. You don't stumble over things. You don't give creep vibes. Like when you do the things that a lot of guys aren't good at, which is like having genuine, sincere conversation with members of the opposite sex. You got all the shit that people want, and you have so much doubt in the natural ability that you have, like the ability to be able to talk to somebody of the opposite sex that you're attracted to, but not sound like you're a person that's just trying to jab your penis in them as soon as possible, is a real fucking gift. It's a talent that a lot of people just don't have. And you do, and then you I've never seen a dude successfully friend zone themselves. You do it to yourself. And that's what bothers me, because I'm like, dude, you're better than this. Like I wouldn't be mad at you if you just look, man. I have known some guys who just, they get nervous, they just get socially awkward, and and they're still great guys, but
I've been that guy. I've been that guy.
But you're not that guy. Everybody's been that guy before. I don't care how smooth and debonair you think you are. Everybody's been that guy.
I'm still so awkward and so nervous, and it's just what it is. Like, I don't get it. I need to get out of my own way, and eventually it's going to happen. But this was the opportunity for it to happen.
Hey, that word eventually can't keep flying out your mouth.
Nah, man, I'm just I mean,
She's gonna call you, bro.
I mean, I hope so. I so hope so. But like, I know where I messed up, and when it's all said and done, I used to be a closer. So I'm not a closer anymore.
So when she calls you, you have got to make it evident that the only reason you didn't follow through on the approach was because you didn't think it was time appropriate, because that is the only way you'll get out without it seeming like you were just too scared to fucking do it.
Yeah, I know.
That's my only advice to you. Just make sure you lean in on the fact that, hey man, you at work, and I'm pretty sure
the situation did not present itself positively.
Well, all I'll say is, I believe she'll call. But I'll say this: you cannot let this happen again, because if she smells blood in the water, you're done.
No.
Because the worst thing you can do is make a woman feel like you are weak. Don't do that.
This is not going to happen again.
I hope not.
Regardless,
because you won't be able to change your mind once you
right.
change your mind.
Yeah, like, trust me, I feel worse about it than anybody could make me feel. Like,
but ain't nobody trying to make you feel bad.
I know that, but I just know that I could have possibly missed something great.
Now I did want to make you feel bad about it when you told me about it, because you were still trying to give yourself like credit for all the groundwork you laid. I'm like, no, that made it worse for me. Like, no, don't tell me about all these amazing things you did in the process. And then you just said, fuck it.
It's like you were cooking and didn't eat.
She gonna hit you up and be like, I saw your podcast. She doesn't know I have a podcast.
She does know or does not?
Does not. However,
okay,
that does not mean that I'm not getting it researched.
How about I say Google works, nigga? Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah. So
and you think the podcast is gonna make you look bad. And I believe the opposite.
Yeah,
I believe the podcast makes you look good.
Yeah, not wrong. Especially if she listens to this episode, she might be like, you know what? I'm gonna give it another chance.
She might be like, you got some asshole friends, and that's why that's probably been the thing.
So it's our fault.
Yeah, that guy AG was, he was genuine with that asshole Mo B. I mean, like, I can understand how he might have ruined your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's okay. If I gotta be the bad guy in your story, I'm cool with that. Like,
well, he said last week he's pretty good at it anyway. So, just saying.
I mean, look, I just, my thing is, because you know how I am with the podcast and stuff. A lot of people know a lot about me that a lot of people don't know. Who know me. I put a lot of shit out here, and I'm just like, I made some declarations, and like, well, this is what's going on, and I just like to, once again, therapy. I realize that I could have been better, and I will be better.
If she is listening to the podcast, I just want her to know that I'm sorry. I promise you, I don't beat him up about this all the time. The fact of the matter is, he clearly was really interested in you. I could hear that when the first day he told me about meeting her. I was like, okay, he likes her. And then when he started saying all the stuff that was going on, I'm like, all right, you getting the really good signals back. And then when he told me about the one-on-one archery lesson, I'm just like, oh, bro, she saw you in charge of the class. She volunteered for you, or you offered, and she allowed you to teach her. And then y'all were just one-on-one. I'm like, bro, layup, like, you just layup. And young lady, I don't mean like layup, like, oh, he got you. I just mean like that's obviously there was a comfort level that you had with talking to him and allowing him to do this. And obviously y'all had to be getting along. You don't talk to 30 or 40 minutes to a complete stranger and then repeat that a day or two later, unless you actually enjoy talking to them. You might get stuck in one uncomfortable conversation that you can't get out of. You don't volunteer for the second.
I agree.
So, yeah, that's on my mind today. But with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for listening.
And just to make him really uncomfortable, young lady, you need to talk to him, because I promise you it's like this. All the other ladies say it's like
You know what? Usually I'll have sympathy for you. I do not have sympathy for you today.
Hey, man, if she's listening to the podcast, she don't know what gesture I just made.
Understood. I'm just saying, I still feel like you weren't harsh enough, but
it was a third leg. It's a third leg, lady. She's baby leg.
Stop it. Okay. Stop it.
I hope
we call them tripod. We've been calling them tripod since like 2001.
Like, you know what?
Why we gotta be lying out here to people? God damn it. But with that being said, I thank everybody who listened to the podcast today. as you know, it will be released later on this week, and it'll be wherever you get your podcast. As you know, we do this every Sunday night, 9 p.m. until we get the fuck out of here.
We doing it next Sunday?
I mean,
Well, hopefully we won't have to do it because Ruben's on a date.
nah, it's not. No, it won't be Sunday. I guarantee that.
Nigga, you got travel time. You can do it. You got PTO.
Man, shut the fuck up, man. But yeah, but no, we have a. At least at this point in time, we have one. If it changes, whatever, you won't see us. But enjoy the 4th of July, everyone. Early happy birthday to me. That's right.
All right, sir. Happy birthday.
I'm a
You
advocate
turned
for
51,
myself.
52.
What?
Turned 51 or 52?
51.
51.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm an advocate for myself. I ain't gonna do shit, but it'll be a great birthday. If she calls, it'll even be a better birthday.
Absolutely.
But nah. Other than that, enjoy your friends, enjoy your family this week. Make sure you stay safe. Once again, Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Hey, we do it like we do. Once again, thank Mo B and AG for being here. Thank you for listening. And of course, make sure you listen to the podcast. And hey, you know how we do it. Peace, love, hair grease, soul, and deuces.
Email us at 5minutewarning19@gmail.com. And also leave comments on Facebook and Twitch. Search 5 Minute Warning. Contact us on Twitter at AG_FMW podcast, at Nugman25, at FMW 2019. Contact us on Instagram, Moby 5 Minute Warning, AG_5 Minute Warning, Nugman25. You can listen to the podcast at Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of